So my daughter's a control freak.
Hey,
Behind the scenes confessions.
don't be talking about me. Welcome to Mother Daughter Dancer Duo. Hey y'all, I'm Leilani.
I'm Melinda.
And
This is our second episode.
yeah.
Yes.
Thank you if you're tuning in again for the second time. And hello to those of you who are brand new to our channel. Today we will be talking about our ballet story, basically how we got here, how ballet is basically everything.
Same here.
Everything.
Almost, yeah.
Almost, yeah. It's opened up so many doors for us, and we're gonna share our story with you, because if it wasn't for ballet, we wouldn't be us, basically.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy's gonna start. Take it away.
All right. So a lot of questions they ask is like, basically, when did you start ballet? A lot of people think, oh, did you start ballet at 2 or 3 years old and that's how you became a professional dancer? And no, I did not. I'm kind of that anomaly. I took a session of ballet. I think it was like a local community center or a local school. I don't even remember what it was. But my neighbor did ballet, and she was the most beautiful girl. She was a model. Her family was from like Denmark or something like that. She was a gorgeous European girl. So I wanted to do ballet because I wanted to be like her. So mom signed me up, and I did my first class, and it was going to be our first recital. And as I was getting ready to go on stage, the little girl that was in front of me pushed me and held me back behind the wing. So I got on stage late, and I was mortified because my lovely babysitter was there in the audience. And I did my performance, and afterwards it was over, and my mom walked up to me and said, well, do you want to keep doing ballet? And I said, no, I don't want to do ballet no more. No. And she asked me why, and I wouldn't tell her why, and I just quit. So I went into basketball.
How old were you?
I was just, I think I was like 6 years old.
Oh, you were a baby.
I was a baby. So I wasn't really articulate about what happened back there. But basically I got bullied, y'all. I was bullied. I went into basketball. I was a tomboy. I had all brothers. So I played outside. I was super into sports, loved it. So by the time I was about 11 years old, my older sister came to stay with us, and she told my mom, you need to put her into something girly. She's out there playing with the boys way too much. And I could care less about girly stuff, dresses, doing makeup, none of that. Like, hair was up in a ponytail, and I was running around just being who I was and living my life. So we found a ballet school, and there was only one local ballet school where we were living. We were in Fairfield, and it was Janina Szewinska's school, Solano Civic Ballet. She actually put out a book. She was a survivor of Auschwitz. Look it up. So I went to the school, and there was no beginning classes. There was no like teen entry class. There was none of that stuff. Like, you had to audition to get into the school, and there were all girls, of course, that had been training from the time they were 2 years old. So yeah, they were on point at 12, and everybody doing pirouettes and learning full-length ballets. And here I go walking in the door, and yeah, so I basically got thrown into the deep end with the sharks. And I had to learn ballet very quickly, but luckily I was very athletic. I had also done gymnastics when I was young too, so I was flexible. So yeah, that was my experience from there. And then when I got pregnant with my daughter, I quit, because of course that's kind of like a no-no, pregnant ballet dancer in a youth company. How does that work? So I quit. Well, I had auditioned for San Francisco Ballet and found out that I had gotten in. So yeah. Well, the choice came, you know, what was I gonna do? And I choose this lovely human being
I was
right
like,
here.
hey.
Wouldn't change it for the world. Wouldn't change it for the world. So yeah, that's what happened during that period of time. But after I took a break, I had a good friend, and she called me on the phone, and she was like, why don't you come train where I'm at? there was another school that was kind of the competing ballet school that was the city over, and there was a ex-principal dancer from San Francisco Ballet actually that had opened the school, and she's like, why don't you come take classes? I was like, I don't have a babysitter. I can't go to class. And she's like, well, just bring the stroller, bring the baby, put her in the stroller and let her sit and watch class. And I was like, you know what, that's a good idea. So she came and picked me up, and we put the stroller in the trunk in her little Z with a bunch of teenagers, and Lonnie in the car seat, and we took her to class, and Lonnie sat and watched the whole time, was like the best little baby, and just kicked it with us. And I thought, oh, okay, I think I can start taking classes again. So that was my journey back into class. From there, I was looking for something a little bit broader. Being biracial, having a different body type, having more muscle, having a derriere, like having a fuller shape and not being real skinny without starving myself, because I never believed in the starving yourself thing. And there was definitely girls that I grew up with that starved themselves. Yeah, don't do it. Not healthy. Not healthy at all. Like, don't. It makes you sick mentally and physically. So I was looking for something different, and a good friend of mine that is a jazz musician, hey Niyoshi, he's the one that helped me find Oakland Ballet. So he took me up to Oakland one day, and we were hanging out with one of his old retired jazz friends, and he actually lived above the Alice Arts Center, which is now the Malanga Center, which used to be where Oakland Ballet rehearsed. For you old schoolers out there, you remember that. So he took me downstairs and showed me the studios, and I was just like, okay, I guess I need to start taking some classes again. He was like, why don't you come out here? Why don't you try to get into the school and see what's going on? You know, maybe more body types like you, maybe different nationalities. And so I found Oakland Ballet, and I found Ron Guidi. And if I hadn't found them, I don't think I'd be sitting here today. His school and his philosophy was about training everybody, no matter your background, your body type. Like, he was really about the art form. And for those of us that were blessed enough to be able to train underneath him, he really taught what ballet was. So yeah, I started dancing professionally when I was about 21. Danced for several different companies, and also danced with Oakland Ballet as well. I danced with Peninsula Ballet Theater, was one of the founding members at Bay Point Ballet, was a soloist with them. Also Annapolis Ballet Theater, and I did some guesting work, and I had a 16-year career. So yeah, my story.
Okay. So when
P.S. by the way, I still take my classes too.
Yeah, she does.
Retired or not, go get your ballet classes in.
We keep each other in check, and ballet check, and fitness check.
Yes, you need a motivator in
like
life.
She'll let me know, like, BB, you look like you're gaining weight. You look like you put on a couple pounds, and I'm like,
what? In a nice way.
No, it's like, yeah, and I'm like, we ain't playing those games. So I hop back on the fitness train or the gym train or the ballet train if I fell off of it just a teens, and then I get back onto my train. Same with her. I'd be like, Mom, let's go to the gym.
Too many Bob's Donuts.
I don't tell her she's gained weight, but she'll tell me, and I'd be like, okay, let's go to the gym.
But I ask her and she won't tell me. Oh no, you look fine.
Because my mom had a dance studio in Fairfield that opened up in '99, right?
Yeah.
It was called the Dance Network, and so when she opened the school, I was 6 years old, and I remember classes going on, and I was sitting on the chairs, like, kind of observing from afar, and my mom came up to me and she's like, do you want to try it? And I was like I wanted to try it. I was like kind of shy, but I wanted to try, and then I tried it, and then I liked it, and then I kept doing it. And then, but to backtrack, before our studio in Fairfield opened, the very first dance I ever did was hula. My Auntie Leah had or still has, a dojo in Fairfield, and that's where she would hold hula classes. And she had a halal, right, Mom? Mm-hmm. It was a halal. I was so young. I think I was like 4.
I think you were, about 4.
I was a little baby. So that was the very first dance I ever did. And then Mama opened up the dance studio, and then I started doing ballet, and I had we had jazz, we had hip hop, we had hula too for a little bit. She was cool. I forgot her name, but I really liked her. And when I hit about 14, my mom was like, "You're gonna audition for SOTA." And I was like, "What's that? What's SOTA?" And she's like, "San Francisco School of the Arts." And I was like, "Okay." So, and at that age, I didn't really want to leave Fairfield because I wanted to go to high school with my friends that I went to middle school with and that I went to elementary school with. My mom's like, you gonna dance, girl. Right. So, so I auditioned. I remember my audition piece was
Kitri.
It was Kitri. It was the Kitri variation from Don Quixote, and I did it on point. And I was the only one on point for that audition. We uprooted as a family and moved to San Francisco because I got into SOTA. I moved to the big city. I hated it the first 2-3 years because I was like, oh my God, like I don't know nobody out here. All my friends are back in Fairfield.
I loved it.
I had to get used
to happy.
I had to get used to like the fast pace. But overall, I ended up getting used to it, and I made a lot of awesome friends at SOTA, like so many talented people. It was like an experience that I wouldn't have had anywhere else. I wouldn't meet the amazing people at a regular high school if I would have stayed in Fairfield. Like some of my friends are on Broadway now, or, you know, have made it in LA, or it's just amazing and it's inspiring
watching their journey.
Yeah, and it's like, oh my God, thank God I went to an arts high school. Like my senior year, my boyfriend ended up passing away, and that was really hard for me because during that time I had to audition for colleges. I had to basically make a quick choice about what I wanted to do with my future. Was I going to try to get into a company, or was I going to get into a college? And I sat and I thought about it long and hard, and I told my mom, I was like, look, I'm like mourning, I'm emotionally like torn apart at this point in time, and I don't think I'm gonna do well in college. I don't think I had the mindset to be there. I ended up getting into Peninsula Ballet Theater. I was 18. And I did my first Nutcracker with them. I was in the same company with my mom. So that was pretty cool. But we're actually like, we're very much so in our own zones when we work together. It's not like how I am with her normally. We're just like kind of focused and doing our own thing.
Yeah, like if you saw us in a class together, you wouldn't even know that we were there together.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, no. we're co-workers when you put us in that environment.
Yeah, I ended up going to Bay Point Ballet, and in between these companies and times, I went and I did a summer at Joffrey Ballet in New York, another summer at Lines.
Which they asked her to stay.
They did.
Joffrey,
I got
Joffrey
into
too.
I got into Joffrey too. I turned it down because of eating disorders that were going on that I wasn't okay with. I got into Lines, and then I got into Dance Theater of Harlem one summer, and then Miami City Ballet one summer. So
she was a scholarship kid too.
I was scholarshiped. I was training every summer, and then I'd come back home and I'd teach. I was just busy. It was all over the place. But when
and she was taking some general credits.
General ed at City College in San Francisco. Yeah. So when I came back from Miami City Ballet, I was in the best shape of my life. Like we were dancing like crazy on top of doing like Nike training classes and mat Pilates. So my body was like a lean, mean muscle machine. I was like totally feeling myself. I was like, dang, I need to model or something. So when I came back home, I talked to a friend of mine who, she was a photographer, and she knew of a modeling coach here in the Bay Area, and I got in contact with him, and I trained underneath him for about a year. And at one of his fashion shows, I got scouted by Martin Liddell Talent here in San Francisco, and I got signed by them at 21, and I've been with them ever since. And then a couple months ago, like, I don't know, 6 months ago, I got signed by Clear Talent Group in LA. So it's really interesting to see where ballet has taken me. It's opened doors for me to do modeling, commercials. I've gotten a lot of freelance work just by being a ballerina. And like, I'm not retired, but I'm basically freelancing right now. I don't really want to do the company thing, but I'm down to do like projects and just kind of create with other choreographers and perform here and there just to keep the soul and the fire alive.
Last company she was with was Oakland Ballet.
Yeah.
And that was a treat for me because, like, as you guys know, I trained at the school and I eventually danced with the company. And then being able to see her perform at the Paramount where we used to perform, it was like a tearjerker.
Like a sold out house too.
It was a sold out house. There was nothing but
cool.
standing room there. And I cried. I cried. I was like, oh my God, full circle. So yeah.
So yeah, this is pretty much our ballet story in a little box. Make sure to like,
subscribe,
and hit the little bell button down there so you know when our fire drops. Catch you guys next week.